We create missions for ambitious sim pilots. This campaign is about you. Cowards love manuals. Fools ignore them. Personally, I see myself with the latter, but I stand by it. In well over 1,000 hours, we've assembled a mix of real-world missions, sometimes more, sometimes less challenging. DCS users are generally divided into two camps. Those who see DCS as a game and are mainly looking for entertaining entertainment, and those who see DCS as an excellent detailed simulator, like some military forces to simulate or practice the fundamental operation of any aircraft. This campaign is more for the sim group and less for the players. But it doesn't matter how good or experienced you are, as long as you are willing to learn and work on yourself. But more about that later under help. A very big thank you to Eagle Dynamics for giving us the opportunity to create this and other campaigns with DCS in the first place. This campaign would not have been possible without the help of many volunteers. Speakers for the voiceovers. Testers who have pointed out and continue to point out not only errors, but also problems in understanding, tasks or instructions. Special thanks to the translators in English and French, who sacrificed a lot of time for this less exciting part. To all of them, a heartfelt thank you. An average DCS pilot should be able to handle almost all missions without much difficulty. However, our first campaign, Spring 2025, was also flown by many newcomers, and Stormfront should also be masterable for all. We have therefore drawn our lessons from the feedback and offered with this manual additional assistant, which probably 90% of the pilots, players, do not even need and therefore will not read. This campaign is about you. Your ability to not only pilot the UH-1 but to control it, to some degree. Your ability to think like a pilot, to know or learn procedures, and to act accordingly. Your willingness to learn and to persevere. Failure is part of the business. The greatest danger is not from the weather or the enemy. The greatest danger is losing situation awareness. To behave correctly is an integral part of the simulation and enhances the feeling of reality. It can be an incredible help to prepare properly before the flight. For this purpose, a wide variety of information is included in this manual and on the kneeboard during the flight. Your commander on the left seat supports you to the best of his ability. He almost always takes care of frequencies, pays attention to the wind direction, and takes over the radio with other aircraft, other ground units, or the tower. Of course, he also gives important tips and hints. In the radio menu under F10, the next task or target is displayed. All relevant waypoints are marked with orange smoke if the corresponding point is selected or clicked with the mouse. You don't have too much experience with campaigns and don't always understand all the instructions and hints. In the F10 radio menu, you can activate the easy wayfinding. With activated wayfinding, the next destination, or at longer distances, the next waypoint will be marked automatically with orange smoke. On your kneeboard you will find important information about the mission at any time during the flight. Not every situation can be anticipated as a mission builder, and every behavior can be guessed by interested but basically clueless players. Knowing some basics and sticking to them creates a common ground and prevents misunderstandings and frustration. From our side, we do everything possible to make it as easy as possible for the beginner. Nevertheless, we expect a certain amount of basic knowledge, but above all, the willingness to learn something new. The mental attitude. This is a military simulation. As it is in the military, there is a mission, a more or less good plan, and orders to follow. Independent thought and action are not desired, and usually lead to coordination problems and failures in real life and the simulation. It is, therefore, essential to follow the commander's instructions. He will tell you when to start the engine, and when he says turn right, you should do so. As a rule, takeoff and landing are always into the wind, regardless of the direction in which the actual flight is continued. If you're in a hurry, slow down. Fuel should never be a problem, but if it is, you can refuel at any official landing site, FOB, or airfield anyway. Turns in the UH-1 should be performed to the right, unless otherwise arranged, for example by the tower. The control of the door gunner, especially the rules of engagement, ROE, is automatically controlled by the mission. Typically, you should not and do not need to intervene. This is to relieve you and ensure that you do not run out of ammunition during the mission. The checklist. In the campaign and individual missions, starting according to the checklist also controls actions outside the aircraft. For example, turning on the main generator is a signal that the starting process is complete. No matter how long different players take to start, the switching on of the main generator is a constant to which the mission is oriented. In the detailed PDF version of the manual, you will also find information on airfields and landing zones, the underlying story, and mission descriptions for each mission. We hope you enjoy the missions and look forward to your feedback.